Hello,
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 good
hello.
evening.
My phone is buzzing, so does that mean that we're live on all the places? Um, I'm
I'm
hoping so.
yes.
I'm hoping
Yes.
so. So
Yes.
welcome to
I always
Live
check
with
the Facebook.
Fifi and Freddie. Um, we are live in all the places, on time, most of the time, all the time. This week, I was in the seat and the camera was on. We've had a little bit of jittery with the internet, so if I disappear,
Right,
I don't have
right.
an
That's
explanation.
there,
It's
huh?
just the internet
It's
hates
very,
me.
very convenient. It's no, I was here on time. Oh no, look, my internet's out. Oh
Uh,
no.
uh, Anyhow, if I'm running late, trust me, I will tell you. Anyway, I'm Felicia Fifi Minor and looking like Captain Captain over there is
I
Freddie
figured
Prinze.
I hadn't brought out this black and gold yet for one of the shows, so I'm like,
You're
that's fine.
right. Even though we did a photo shoot with it last season, you didn't even wear it last season, I don't think.
No, I didn't. I actually went back in my pictures to see. I was like, am I going to be redoing this? Nope, I didn't.
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm-mm.
Nope.
But I will say that you were killing it last week, and people are still commenting on the photos. So,
Yes, look at
kudos
me
to
doing
you. Kudos
stuff.
to you. Today we have a packed, a like truly packed show lined up for you. We have lots to talk about. Dumb people everywhere. News that you need to know about. So stick around. What it means to be a good guest or visitor. Have you ever had a horrible guest or visitor? Mm, mm. Uh, let's celebrate diversity. Um, this is not funny, but it's funny to me because the climate, let's say, and some first
are
at the
both of us
circle.
is like are one of us or both of us a DEI hire on this?
Oh, I'll have to talk to HR.
Because
Hmm.
it's only about race, you know this, so
Hmm.
I'm safe.
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. There's a lot to talk about, but first, let's get going in the chat. Hello, hello, hi, Laura. Um, I asked this question. Sorry, reading and talking at the same time. Who would have thought? Um, I asked this question earlier, um, on my Facebook, and I just want to know what song do you have on repeat at the moment? Because everybody has, just a song that they just put on, or some people have, I have learned, um, have like lifelong songs that they uh play. It's like that feel good. It's that.
I think that's more me. Like I don't
Mm,
think I have like one specific song. Um a lot of the like I have a on my Spotify, I have a like drag playlist, which is stuff that I
mhm,
want to eventually do at some point.
mhm.
And but a lot of those songs are just like songs that I really enjoy. So a lot of times I'll just put that like so that a
Yeah.
lot of times that playlist is what is on. So it's like there's a few Jason Mraz songs on there, some Glass Animals, like it's kind of a mishmash of things.
Yeah.
But it's like those are kind of like my like all right, let me kind of put that on kind of thing. Otherwise it's usually my 90s mix, 90s
So
playlist.
I so it depends on the mood, first and foremost for me. I'm definitely like into the ballads sometimes. Sometimes I'm not into the ballads.
Mm.
Um, but I am definitely all about like discovering new music. So sometimes I discover new music and then I put them on repeat. And then, yeah.
I um so I've known who Orville Peck was for like a while. I've never really listened to his stuff because I don't really do country, but
Mhm.
he's done some duets that are now
Mm.
on that playlist.
Oh,
And I'm like, ooh, I like some of these. There's one actually that he does with Elton John. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to pick who to be in this one? If I'm going to do a duet with somebody, am I going to be Orville Peck or am I going to be Elton John? I could do both.
or is it like a whoosh, whoosh?
Right? Just get a half a mask on one side and
Like a Phantom of the Opera type deal.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, no, he's got some good stuff out. He's got a duet with Kylie Minogue that's fun. In fact, I want that outfit. I need to find somebody that can do like Kylie Minogue, and then I want to make
Oh,
the outfit
not
that
me.
he wears.
Not me.
But I don't get booked in this town, so again, it would just be one of those things where I'm like,
So if you're booking for coming months, Freddie Prince Charming is available.
I know, and I've been doing this for like this is my 20th year.
Oh wow.
I know.
It's not my 20th year
It's a long
yet.
time.
You've been doing this longer than me. Um, I would say that well, when I did the end of the year thing, it definitely told me that I listened to Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and Ariana Grande a lot. So
Somehow that's not surprising.
I have fallen into the stereotypical gay uh stereotype. um but I have some jazz musicians on there. I don't say people's names right. So
But
Samara Joy, I think I said her name right. Somebody write that down. I said somebody's name right. I love her. Um, oh, there's so many others, but I just go in and out of. I have some rock stuff that is on there. I have a playlist that once I hear something, I'm like, oh, when I'm getting ready, I want to hear that.
right.
Because when we get ready, we don't want to hear like, I want to hear something like, yeah, this is,
It depends on what I'm
yeah.
doing. If I'm not usually listening to music when I'm getting ready.
Oh, really?
I usually have like true crime.
Oh,
Although
see,
tonight I wasn't
I did
feeling it
that.
tonight, so I was actually watching Murder She Wrote.
Oh, oldies but goodies.
Mm.
Um, I cannot get into a podcast when I'm getting ready because then I start listening to the podcast more than I'm getting ready. And you know me with time, I'm already.
Yeah, we can't have that.
So good. Yeah. I am happy to share my playlist with anybody who wants it. Um, it started out as our photo shoot playlist, and then it has grown. It is now like 8 or 9 hours long. We don't have
Oh
photo shoots that
Jesus.
long, so
No.
and nor does it take me that long to get ready. Though if you ask my husband, he thinks it does. But yeah, so and it's always a mix of things. So, housekeeping. Let's get to it. Real quick. If you haven't joined us on Patreon, you should. I don't know why you're not on our Patreon because
I need to get the login from you again because my computer logged me out, and when I tried to log back in, it wasn't what I thought it was, so I don't know what it is anymore.
oh, it's your own personal login. I don't
On
whatever, we'll
Patreon?
talk about it. Yeah.
Oh, why is my Alexa shut up? That no 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 that no 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 on my computer it's not it's whatever our thing is to log into Creator for Patreon. I don't know what it
Oh,
is. Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I'll have
don't
to
know
look it
either.
up. But what is her deal?
I don't know.
Alexa, shut
Apparently, she
up.
thinks I'm talking to her, but I'm not.
I didn't hear you say Alexa at all. All I heard was login. Maybe. So side note, there is like some lawsuits going on about how devices are listening to you
Hmm.
and like purposely projecting, like, say you talk about your boss and leadership or whatever, like those things that you
Mm-hmm.
see them all the time on social media that they're doing, like, oh, give your secretary a raise, stuff like that.
Right.
um but it may be true. So if you own a listening device, there may be lawsuits and settlements coming. Sometimes
Oh,
those have good money,
yeah. Maybe I'll get like ten
which you
dollars
can
from it. I
use
got
to
$10
support
from like
us.
Blue Cross Blue Shield ones.
you can support us on Patreon right here, once you get your settlement money. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
tax season,
Mm-hmm.
you can
We just
invest.
make a big one-time donation as well. We're okay with that. We are
Mhm.
not tax deductible though, although we do qualify. I mean, we should qualify for a charity at this point.
Mhm. Arts is
Mm,
the name of art.
mm,
Mhm.
mm.
So on either of those, you can get some really good incentives. Like the closer look, you can get a sticker after 3 months, but that's it. So on the deeper plunge and the G spot, you can get a sticker, a mug, and a T-shirt and a tote bag that will get sent out to you by Patreon, and I am so thankful, so thankful. We'd like to thank our patrons: Brandon, Cassandra, Chris and Michelle, D, Drake Jensen and Michael, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Joan, Laura, Leanne, Madam Askew and the Grand Arbiter, Nicole, Patricia Mason, Shannon, and William.
Thank you.
Thank you. And a huge shout out. She deserves it because, bitch. Anyway,
I,
a huge shout out to Wigs of a Kind, Marissa, who is out of Corpus Christi, Texas. And maybe I should clip this later. I support wigs of a kind, high quality wigs. Um, I will tell you that I toss these things around, and they have
no, true
lasted.
story.
uh, and they have lasted me like, gosh, like 15 years.
Years,
Some of them.
years.
Some
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Marissa
I'm
looks
pretty rough on some of mine too, and they are hanging in there like champs.
so. And this is one of them. Uh, Um, I've been told that I should switch it up soon, because people are like, "Is that your standard?" And I'm like, "Maybe." Um,
It's the one that's on top. That's why it's the one
yeah.
that's on top.
Don't tell people my system.
Sorry.
Um, and they stay pretty nice. Like, there's nothing happening under here. Like, I'm not hiding anything. So, like, um, shout out to her. Um, Somebody thought they had the audacity today, or whatever, um, to put her through the ringer, but not going to happen. So I need to go on that post and comment. Um, but I will gladly stand by Wigs of a Kind,
Yeah.
and she's very fair. I think the thing that is drawing attention is that people feel like it's too good to be true,
Right.
and
Oh no! Look, quality wigs that aren't like $800.
yeah, um, and to tell you, I toss these things around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
No, it's
pile of
true. I've seen it.
there's a pile of wigs right here. It's blurred out.
Literally, like it's yeah, yeah.
Or I pull them out and people go, "Oh, you're gonna wear that?" And I'm like, "Why? What's wrong with it?"
It's like yeah, what?
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it. I don't need to ask questions because then.
Mm.
And if you need to restyle them, she is more than willing to like jump on a call and help you restyle them. Um, she's done that for me before. I've sent them back to her and got them redone. Need to do that again. Um, so
You know,
that's
Marissa,
my
I need some mohawk
soapbox.
toppers.
Yeah. So yeah. So if you get a moment, just go over to Facebook, Wigs of a Kind, one word, and show a little love
Mm-hmm.
to Marissa. Because
Mm-hmm.
ugh, the audacity of people. How
People
was
are
your
so
weekend?
my weekend was actually pretty chill. We went to the Ren Fair on Saturday. Um
Hmm.
and we didn't have an agenda. We were just gonna go and just kind of have a good time. So we were like, oh, we'll go, we'll kind of check out, some of the shows and like the entertainment that we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, we didn't do any of that. We just kind of wandered
You just
and like checked out
floated.
some vendors. We saw some friends and like we just it was just really chill. We just walked around and enjoyed it. It was great. Um I don't know. Like we usually go on Saturday because I usually need a day to kind of recover after being in the sun all day.
Because you're old
No, because I'm white as fuck. Um,
and old.
and old, but it really like, has nothing to do with age. It has to do with the fact that I'm translucent. Um,
Is that a
but
new gender identity?
yes, I am
Mm,
translucent. Um, but this was a little bit different. We're
why?
pretty sure that like our bodies have been trying to fight shit off for a little bit. I didn't feel great. I ended up sleeping for like I don't know 3 or 4 hours or something during the day
What?
on Sunday, and apparently I crashed out hard because D was like rearranging the pantry and like vacuuming and being loud, and I heard none of it. None
Whoa.
of it. Yeah, that's not normal. So we both felt kind of like a little "Nyeh" for the last few days, but I'm hoping
Mm.
that it's like our flu shots doing what they're supposed to be doing and fighting shit off. So, but yeah,
It
and
is also allergy season, which,
I'm not
but
allergic to anything. I have the test to prove it.
okay. Seasonal allergies, dirt,
Uh,
nasty.
I'm allergic to nothing. I'm not allergic to pollen. I'm not allergic. I'm allergic to literally nothing.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
She
I'm
says she
literally allergic.
wasn't vacuuming, she was
I don't
organizing
know.
the
She was being
dishes.
loud. I don't know. Whatever she was doing, she was being loud, and I didn't hear any of it.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's fine. How was your weekend?
Oh, your kids got the flu? Oh, jeez. Stay away. No. No.
She has flu B, but apparently is feeling well enough to watch TikTok and proceed to tell us that kinks are hereditary.
Huh?
Yeah. Apparently, I came out just as she was saying. So the only fact I know about kinks is that they're hereditary.
Huh?
I I don't know that that's entirely true. And also, please don't get your facts from TikTok.
Is she
I was like, she totally
is
is.
she checking this, like, other sources, or she just stays
Well,
in the TikTok?
we told her, we're like, you look, if you think kinks are hereditary, like, would you like to know what you have in store, like what you to prepare for? I'm like, I can write you like a paper.
No. That is damaging. That is traumatizing even
I'm
hearing
just
you
saying,
say
like,
it.
she's the one that brought it up. Okay, we didn't bring it up this time. And I'm like, here, you wanna? I'm like, I'll write you a whole like essay on what you can expect in the later years. And she's
Ew.
like, "Oh my god, no, I don't want to know." I'm like, and
Ew, I don't know
apparently
what's worse. Ew. No. No.
this started. See, we need to. I wish we had cameras in the house because apparently this started
We're gonna
where
turn your
she
house
said,
into the Big Brother house?
I sometimes I swear to God we need to. Apparently she said something like, maybe I'll meet somebody before Friday for Valentine's Day, and then her brother says, as long as it's not a furry because I don't support furries, and then D says, well, you don't kink shame in this house, and then apparently kinks are hereditary.
Huh.
Yeah,
And
that's what
I have been in your house when some of these conversations are going,
I
and I think to myself, "This is a very good show."
I swear to God, people probably think that we exaggerate when we
No,
tell
it's
them
not an
about the
exaggeration.
conversations. And
I would
I'm like,
I
no,
would
this is
say
literally what happens. This
I
is
would say the
literally
comic
what happens.
delivery
No,
is kind of like Abbott, Elementary. The
right.
delivery is kind of that, and you think to yourself, like, "That really can't be happening," but it is.
I swear this is why we need to have like cameras set up because
I think you
man,
just when moments are happening, I think you just need to pull your phone out and just be like, "Uh-huh,
right.
mhm."
I have like just strategically have a couple of like GoPros in the house because
Remotes. Be like, we ain't
whenever
missing
like
this
the
one."
kids are home, just have a GoPro just sitting in the living room because I swear to God, these conversations actually happen. They're legit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, what is she saying?
Oh my God. She's been
Sh
homesick, so she and I basically had, oh God, had an ADH conversation of not talking about anything, just starting sentences. I am so glad I was not there for that because I probably would have killed one of you. This happens anyways, so I can imagine this going on where it would be like half a thought or like the middle of a thought that has like it's a non sequitur, it's completely disjointed, has nothing to do with anything, but them doing it together back and forth. No, no, no.
or what were we talking about?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm so glad oh, wow. I don't have that.
There are times when that shit happens and I'm literally just sitting there and I'm like, nothing has been said. It's been like 45 minutes and neither one of you have actually said anything, but okay. And like,
I wonder if Scott has ADHD because sometimes he starts conversations that he has in his head, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, you know what I mean?"
oh my
And I'm
God,
like,
that happens all the fucking time. I'm sitting there, we're not doing anything, we're watching TV or something, and Dee's like on her phone or whatever. And then all of a sudden she goes, yeah, so he said no.
"Who?"
Who said no about what? What are you talking about? Or it's either a conversation that she started in her head or a
Mm,
conversation that we had like yesterday.
uh-huh,
And I'm like, what? Oh, you
uh-huh.
remember when we were talking about that thing last week and it was about this thing? And I'm like, no, I have zero
Or
recollection. Fuck, you're
I'll
talking
ask
about.
what is for dinner tomorrow,
Right.
usually.
It'd
And
be like,
so
or like, it just random non sequiturs. Oh, yeah, no, the feathers.
it's kinda like watching this show.
What?
Huh.
This is my life. This happens all the time between her and
Oh
her
my
daughter. It's the
gosh.
same
I definitely
thing.
would subscribe to this channel. I need
I
this.
swear to God, I wish I could just
We
have
could put that on our
the,
Patreon,
the
D. Is that
the
okay?
times that like, and my face. I know that when she says these things, my face is just like,
Like Abbott Elementary, I tell you, this would be great. In that same flow, you're just sitting there looking dumbfounded. She's like, "Yeah." And you're
yeah.
like,
It's like no, the hat with the coat.
"Mhm, mhm. Sure." Uh, well, it sounds like you still have an eventful household. Um, I have an eventful household too. Children under 5 are made of rockets and
Mm,
never stop. Mhm.
no, thank you.
Uh, but, out of that, I finally got my nails done.
You know, I'm really offended. You never take any of my suggestions.
Well, the one that you just posted was a little creepy. The hands on hands, I don't know. I don't know.
I you know, you always ask for
Plus
suggestions, and I always
plus
take time out of my day to go look for suggestions, and you never take any of them.
Hi,
Like, why
Marissa.
am I even here?
We we got on a soapbox about you,
We did,
so
yes. If you watch from the beginning, you'll see we do. I need some mohawk toppers.
he's been waiting for you to get on here just so he could say that.
No, but yes, we did do a whole spiel because I don't know what the fuck people were on today, but Lord.
They better get off it. Wait, I need to think about my comment because I'm better at writing than I am talking. So
Mm, mm.
this isn't a blog. The worst is what? The worst is what? Is we live together and get oh.
It'll have nothing to do with anything. And she's like, "What the hell is this? And why is this on my feed?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, yes,
Oh, that's
yes.
great.
So my
Now
weekend,
her
I
feed's
finally
gonna
got
be full of like her feed now is gonna be full of like fursuits and furry shit.
oh, wow. I can't wait. Send me screenshots. Um, got my nails done. I did it. I already did. I did the evil deed, and I got my first group of Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, we got ours a couple weeks ago.
Well, I was holding off on purpose because I was like, "Oh, well, mm." And then I kinda went gangbusters this time, and then so I'm like, "Okay, that's good. That's good." Having a
I
little
I will
self-talk.
I will tell you that I will support Girl Scouts for as long as I can.
Mhm.
They are very inclusive and very welcoming, very supportive of.
Very diverse.
Uh-huh. They've been very vocal about accepting, trans girls and all this stuff. And when I was a Girl Scout, that like going to Girl Scout camp during the summers were some of the best fucking times of my life. Like I love that shit.
Reliving.
I love
But
that shit.
so this girl, I wasn't really gonna buy. I was just like, "Oh, what do you have?" Being really nice.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I just really think that you should buy the cookies instead of." And I was like, "She is serious." And the mom
Oh,
just, like, turned
they
around and
they are.
she was ruthless. She was like, "So, it do you remember what you got last year?" Like, very straight to business, and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "I think I remember you from last year." And I was like, "I don't even remember you, but okay." And she goes,
They,
"You got this and this." And she goes, "Do you want a couple more? I think you want a couple more." And she got me. Mm.
man, they don't play. It used to be, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash." Now it's like, whoop, here's a QR code. Go ahead and scan that bitch. Here's your Thin Mints. Okay, thank
And I
you.
said, "Oh, you
What?
know what? I should come back, when I have my physical card." And she goes, "Well, do you have your card saved on your phone?" And
You're right. They're a little fucking mafia. It's
I'm
like
like,
they're
"Oh my
like,
god."
we used to be
Um,
so wholesome. It used to be knock, knock, knock. Hi, would you like to buy some cookies?
no,
Okay. Well,
she
they're
she got
they're
me.
$2 a box, and our most popular ones are Thin Mints and Samoas. And if you'd like to buy some, that would be great. Now it's like, here, take your Thin Mints. Here's the QR code. Now go. I got people to take care of. It's like, oh Jesus. Okay, here go. I'm like,
Mm.
oh God. You have to like walk into Fry's. Don't make eye contact. Just walk. Look.
Yeah,
Don't look.
I was like,
Don't
"Oh
look.
my god."
Don't even acknowledge them. Just go. Otherwise, they will get you. They will.
They got
They
me
will.
good.
They,
So
mhm.
good. So good. Whoever's teaching them entrepreneurship, way to go.
That. Woo,
Way to go.
that's who we need to have like in charge of the country at this point. Just get a gaggle of Girl Scouts up there. Shit.
Yeah. She was just like, "I remember you from last year." And I was like, "Did
Mm.
I sign up for the email newsletter or something?" I don't got me by the throat, basically. Anyway, um, but, um, I don't wanna say the other thing. We'll talk about the Super Bowl later. Watch
Mhm.
that, and I had one of these
I did
oopsie
not.
moments when I thought I was having a lazy day, and then I realized, you know, I'm in charge of people, and I probably should do laundry.
Nah.
So I have one of those, like, "Oh, shit," rush days where I just kinda hurry up and did laundry. Uh, you know?
I like that ours are old enough to do their own laundry, and if they're like out of clothes and shit, that's not my fucking problem. I'm
You're
like,
right.
oh well. Yeah.
Have your groceries delivered. So is that your way of avoiding
Mm-mm.
the Girl Scouts? Because I will tell you, there are a couple of my Facebook friends that have been in my DMs about how you can order them online and get them delivered to your door.
You
So,
can, you can,
uh,
because
that is just as
technology.
dangerous as Amazon. When I think of something, which I wish that you were here, when I think of something and then I go, "Oh, I'm just gonna order it," and then I don't remember that I ordered it. Mhm.
You can
Um,
look at your order history,
I don't remember ordering some things.
right?
So, yeah, mhm. Anyhow, Super Bowl we'll talk about later. But let's get into um on the way back from the store, I was having like this brain tizzy because um Lily was going on a play date and she hasn't gone on a play date in a while. And it is somebody we trust. And so I was like, oh, I'm not ready. But my brain was like, what do I do? And so like, you know how like you sweat the small stuff and then like somebody comes through and it's like, you know what? I know that you're busy. I'm just gonna go pick her up and you don't have to worry about all the rest.
No.
That was the saving grace. But I was still like, oh my gosh, like what if they had gone to the park or something and now she's just no snacks,
Right.
no backpack, no nothing. But l- speaking of that, let's get into the tip. Let me play the intro.
All right. So to kind of to go along with Felicia's, mini meltdown, um,
Mhm.
tonight I'm going to talk about visiting etiquette. Now, we have in the past talked about kind of the do's and don'ts when it comes to staying with people when you're traveling, being a house guest. We've discussed that because we've all had those house guests, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're
But
here.
what about like the sort of the do's and don'ts, best practices kind of things for things like play dates with kids, game nights, dinners, etc. Because there's some crossover, but again, now obviously I need to make sure that I'm prefacing this with I've never really had to deal with play dates with kids, so I can only speak to some things that I think would be common
I could
sense
fill you
when
in.
it comes to
I could
children.
I could
Perfect.
fill some stuff in.
You see how well I did as far as like things that if I had a child that needed to
Oh,
like do play
oh,
dates and things, you see how I did. You can grade me.
I think you
So
would be great at it, actually.
for me, I would say feed your kid before you go,
Mm,
because for a couple of different reasons. I mean, you never know what will or won't be available. And if your
correct.
kid is picky, you'd be like, okay, well, this is what we have to eat. Well, I don't like that. I don't want to eat it. Okay, well, then fuck you and starve. I don't care. So
Mhm.
you
And
don't
a lot
know.
of kids are picky
Right.
until they're
Sometimes they stay
hungry.
picky until they're, adults
Starving.
or almost adults. Um, but and hopefully maybe you can sort of curb the kid getting hangry too soon after getting there, you know what I mean? So it's like I would just feed them before you go regardless of whether they've already eaten. I might just feed them. Bring snacks for the same reasons above. Always pack snacks. I mean, I find that's a good rule of thumb anyway.
Mhm.
Anybody that's ever traveled with me knows I have snacks, but
No clue.
again, you never know what they're going to have. You never know if it's going to be something that the kid is allergic to, because some kids have allergies. Some kids have, intolerances, whatever it is. You have to make sure that whatever it is, they can still eat. So make sure that you pack snacks. Um, this is one that
What?
so you can really only control your child.
And
You
sometimes
may
it's
have a
not even that.
kid. I mean, you may have a kid at the play date, and this other kid is being a complete dickhead, but there's not much you can do about it. It's you can be like, hey, now no, don't do that. But when it comes down to it, it's up to their parents to like, or their guardian or their adult to control them.
Now,
But
I will say that if the parent or guardian is not there, it is up to you to control them.
yes, that is yes. And
'Cause
the
that's
other
not
the
gonna
other
happen
parent
here.
or guardian has to understand that if you've left your kid with me, then I'm going to I'm going to treat your kid the same way I treat my kid. If I say
Mhm.
no, no means no. Like that's the we're not gonna play. But if you have to correct behavior of your, think more like your own kid, if you have to correct your behavior, follow through with any consequences that you may threaten. So, like,
Mhm.
say they're on the playground and they're doing dumb shit and they're throwing sand or they're hitting somebody, and you say, if you hit them one more time, we're leaving. If they hit them one
Follow
more
through.
time, you need to go. Because otherwise, then your kid knows that they can do whatever, and you're not really gonna do it. Be like, what did I say?
Or
What did I say?
or when so and so is at the play date, if this is a repeat thing, they'll go, "Oh, well, so and so's here, so I can get away with this."
Mm,
So, like, don't think, "Oh, I can't be, like, disciplining other people's kids." Make sure I would say, make sure you check with that parent, make sure you make it clear that, like, "I'm a disciplinarian. I'm
right.
not a, like, 'Oh, let's
We're not gonna let
play.'"
shit just fly. Like,
Yeah,
that's
and
not.
so, like, if they say, like, "Oh, he yelled at me." Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, because
Yeah,
you knew that you weren't supposed to be doing something. Um,
right. And I'm like, I would have no problem calling the other person's parents and being like, "You need to come get your little asshole." Like, we're not doing that.
well,
Your kid's being a dick. You need to come get him.
I feel
Like,
like yes, I feel like I am pretty good about seeing if people are, a pretty good match, because it's almost like dating, 'cause you there are some times where I'm like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm, nope." There's a kid in the neighborhood that and,
there's always that one where you're like, no, we're not, we're not. And
'cause
yeah,
then the
no,
kids come
we're
in
not
and
spanking. There's no spanking. Yeah,
no
back in the
spanking.
day, you could spank, and then that's why so many of us fucking need therapy now. Like, spanking does nothing.
You're looking at 2 of them.
Right.
But
Spanking, we're not gonna hit kids. We're not doing that. That's not a thing.
but, um, yeah, like, thinking that they can talk to adults a certain kinda way, not gonna
Woo!
happen.
Uh,
Um,
Lord, I
when you
have heard some of these kids, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, do you?" And you know that they
mm,
talk to their parents like that. I was like, "Oh no!" Mm-mm.
no, uh, we do the you must call people by, Miss something. We don't do the "You're gonna run your mouth." Mm-mm.
No, you're not gonna. No,
'Cause I grew up
we're gonna be
I
polite, and we're
I
gonna,
mean, I did get spanked, but I grew up, where you were the representative. It was almost like you were the representative for your company. You were the representative for your family. So, in order
It's
to
like
not,
having a
like
drag title,
yeah, you don't wanna be, like, disrespectful for the whole family.
right?
So, then when you go to so and so's house and your mom hears, "Oh,
Mm,
he was doing this." Uh-oh.
yeah. No,
Well, and
no.
back in those days, we all could get spankings from the neighbor. Uh,
Anybody?
yeah,
Yep.
everybody
No. Yeah.
joined in, and yeah,
That's
so
it's so fucking messed up. Can you imagine? Ugh. Um,
no, I don't have to
I think
imagine. I
I
lived
think another thing I would say for kids on play dates is be prepared for anything. So, like,
Mhm,
have a change of clothes.
mhm.
If it's warm, and like if people have a pool or whatever, pack a swimsuit. Whatever it is, plan for
Everything.
everything, because you never know. You
I
never
will
know.
say that this was impromptu, so, I don't know if we have people of this nature, but, sometimes I do have a diaper bag that is ready to go, like, if we go to the park, I just pick it up. Um, like, it has diapers, it has wipes, it has, like, snacks, the ones that come in packages, not the ones that you decided to pack yourself, because those can go bad quicker.
Mm,
The ones that are prepackaged, like
right.
Cheez-Its and Doritos, those are kinda stuffed in there, but make sure you maintain, uh, like, if they expire. This is how parents get chubby, they eat their kids', food.
Right.
Um, I'm wearing a T-shirt for a reason. Yeah, so, like, I just have this bag ready to go. It has a couple of water bottles. Hopefully, where we go has a water fountain.
Right.
um, or stop by like a Starbucks or Jack in the Box or something, get free water. Though I heard
Mm,
some places are charging for water out of the fountain.
it's because there's a fucking drought. I don't know. Um. So I mean, that's those are the things that I would say if you have a child and you're doing stuff with the child and play dates and things.
And I
Um.
will say that slumber parties are different than play dates.
Yes, but that
I
that
have
goes
not
into
entered
like,
slumber party realm yet.
and that I mean, I would think that slumber parties kind of stay like kind of go with the whole like house guest thing. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
be there for
Yeah.
so. But for adults, I think it gets a little bit easier.
Does
But
that
I also kind of think that some of the same things kind of apply.
mm,
Um, this is this is one that
what?
bugs me sometimes, depending on the situation. Okay, so one big thing
What's
I
the
would say is
situation?
if you are going to somebody's house, whether it's
Mm,
for a dinner, game night, if there's going to be other people there, like if it's like a game night's more casual, it's more snacks instead of like a dinner kind of thing. But be mindful of any allergies, dietary restrictions, whatever, because honestly, when it comes down to it,
mm.
it's not someone else's responsibility to make sure that you can eat things. Um, I will say that for our game nights and stuff, we've gotten pretty good. When I say we, me, at accommodating a lot of our friends' allergies.
Shit.
I cook. But that's because like number one, they're our friends and we've known them a really long time. So it just sort of now it's kind of become habit. You know, it's like, oh, our friends are coming over, these particular friends, this is their, laundry list of allergies and they can't have gluten. No worries. That's easy. I can,
Mhm.
and their allergies are easy to manage. It's nothing crazy. But not everything that I make is something that everyone can eat.
But you're
Like
very aware and you well, at
I
least in
am.
my experience, you
Um,
have said, "Don't eat that if you don't want."
right. I mean, for Jesus, for when we did Friendsgiving this year, we actually got little mini chalkboards. I
Mm.
literally labeled everything that I made.
Oh, wow.
I labeled all of it. And I indicated on the little sign what was gluten free, what was vegetarian. I think we had two things that just happened to be vegan, not because
Oh,
I did it on
wow.
purpose. They just happened to be that way. Um, we don't have a ton of vegan friends, but it was one of those things where we had some new people coming, and I didn't go out of my way to make anything vegan, but it just
It
happened
just
that we
happened.
had things that were vegan. Um, but I labeled everything so that everybody could look at it and be like, okay, that's gluten free, that's vegetarian, that's vegan, um,
Mhm.
but it's like I gluten free is easy. So a good chunk of things that like I'll make for game nights and stuff and at Friendsgiving, a good chunk of what I make is gluten free.
Mm.
And I don't really have to go out of my way to do it. It's easy for the most
Especially
part.
snacks if they're already made.
Right. And I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I try to make sure that there's at least one thing that everybody can eat. But again, I'm not gonna like if everybody gives
What
me a
about
list of all of their shit,
family?
like again,
Uh,
same thing. I'm
I
like, I
always
am
feel
not
like when I go to, like, family members' house, they're like, "Oh, you'll get over the gluten thing."
no. That's why I always say if there is something like bring if you know you have an allergy and you know
Mhm.
or you're intolerant for something, bring something that you know that you can eat.
Mhm.
Because honestly, when it comes down to it, it's no one else's responsibility to make sure that you're able to eat everything. I do
True.
my best, but I can't accommodate everybody's allergies or everybody's dietary restrictions. Like I'll eh, it is what it is. And if you can't eat things, I'm
Or
sorry,
bring your
but
own dish.
right, like bring your shit. And that's usually kind of like basic etiquette dictates that if you go to somebody's house for something, it's a good idea to bring something.
Were you all raised where you should bring something to somebody else's house no matter, like, if you're the best of friends or if you just
Yes.
met?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, always. I remember growing up, whenever we went anywhere, like whenever I went to somebody's house with my dad or like my parents, um, it would always he'd always bring a bottle of wine.
Mhm.
He would always ask he would always ask what like what's for dinner, what are we having for dinner, and bring a bottle of wine that went with whatever it was. So if it was grilling or steaks or red meat or whatever it is, he'd bring a red. If it was something a little bit lighter, then he would bring a white, sometimes a dessert wine or whatever. But he always brought a bottle of wine. Sometimes it was something else, but it was always something. um and it's usually
Yeah.
something you usually want to bring something that can be shared,
Mhm.
unless it's sort of like unless it specifically says like BYOB or bring your own food and snacks or whatever. Then the idea is that, okay, well, if you BYOB, then that's what you're going to be drinking, unless someone's like, hey, do you want to try this thing?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
My
generally,
first
if you
couple house parties were just that,
right, and that's
bring
and
enough for
that's
everyone.
right, and that's and it you don't necessarily, depending on the size, like you don't necessarily have to bring like 6 bottles of wine or whatever it is. Bring a
I mean,
bottle of
but
wine, but it's
I'm okay
enough
with it.
for people can share, people can have some. Bring us a 6 pack or a case or a 12 pack or whatever it is. And half the time people bring shit and they're like, no, I'm not going to take it. I'll just leave it here.
Also,
Um,
note, don't get drunk at other people's houses unless
oh
you
Lord.
are like, you know that person, like
If we don't know you like that, probably not a good idea to get wasted at our house.
yeah.
Like, and if I do see you get wasted, we're gonna have a discussion, and I will probably take your keys, and you will probably sleep on my couch
Yeah, but
because I will
just as a
not let you
rule
get
of
behind a
thumb,
wheel.
unless it's like I said, like a house party,
Right,
that that's understood that we're there
right.
for a reason, but,
And like
uh
people know, generally, I think most people like understand their limits, and
mhm.
they will. Hey,
We got all
Crimson.
this
I think most
special
people know
gifts.
their limits and will um they're like, okay, I can have 3 drinks like early on in the night, and
Ooh,
then I'm going to switch to water or soda or whatever it is.
mhm.
By the end of the night, I'm fine. I can drive home. Um, most people, and if it looks like there's an issue, I'm like, maybe you should hang out here for a little bit. But yeah, generally bring something that can be, you know, shared with folks. If you're going to a dinner, if you're going to a game night, or whatever it is, it could be a bottle
So,
of wine, it could be a tray of snacks, something.
I think I could understand this, Laura, because I was not allowed to sleep over at people's houses, until I was an adult. Anyway, Laura says, "My father didn't let me stay overnight because we didn't have the space to reciprocate." I think we had the space, but my parents did not want to reciprocate.
Hmm. I spent, like, I think as a kid and like in high school, I was hardly ever home anyway. Like I was always at people's houses.
Mhm.
Very rarely. I mean, it still happened. People still came over, and like my friends still came over and like slept over at my house, but it was rare
Did your
and
friends
usually.
think that your parents were cooler than you thought they were?
Oh, for sure. My
Eh
most of my friends, it depends on the friends. Most of my friends thought my dad and stepmom were great. Meanwhile, I'm like, cool. These are like 2 of the most abusive people on the planet, but that's fine. Um, but normally, like when I was growing up, especially as like a teenager in high school and stuff,
Mhm.
um, I would have friends over when my parents weren't there. Like they'd go on trips and stuff, and I'd be home by myself.
Oh,
So, but
wow.
it wouldn't be a big deal. So I'd have my friends over. We'd do karaoke and whatever. But it was
Mhm.
a small handful of people that would actually be over when my parents were home. But I was always at people's houses. So if you're going to somebody's house, say that the if the host has a pool or a jacuzzi or something, bring your swimsuit and a towel. You may or may not get in the pool. Like game nights here during the summer, we'll usually have like a handful of people in the pool, folks lounging around outside, some folks inside playing board games or whatever. Like there's people in different places. But bring a towel.
Protect your hair.
Like bring a towel because they
Protect your
may
hair.
have extra towels, but they may not have enough for everybody. So don't just assume that there's going to be enough towels to go around. Bring a towel.
You have a towel for me.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Um,
but not
um,
some people.
and sometimes, and this may seem like a what, but this is a thing. So
Mm,
especially as adults, because people are adults,
I try not to be.
depending on the hosts, there are times when if people are in the pool, it may be clothing optional. Like
Mm,
we know a lot of people that they'll do a game night or a pool night or whatever, and it's clothing optional. So not everybody takes things off, but some people might. Some people might just go topless. Some people will just go woo full Monty.
mm.
I mean, for us, that we get a lot of topless boobies floating around in our pool.
Oh, I love
Um,
boobies.
yeah. And it's like it's whatever. Nobody cares. But if you are in that situation and you know that your hosts may open up the pool or whatever to be clothing optional, and you are offended by boobies
Oh,
or body parts, you can either opt
put
to
your
not be in
sunglasses
the
on.
pool, or you can just quietly excuse yourself and say, all right, it's time for me to leave and leave. Don't make a fuss. There's no reason to make a fuss.
Please.
We're all fucking adults. Like, we're all fucking adults. Like, seriously, there's no
And
reason. And
don't start
just be,
drama at other people's houses either.
no,
That's rude and
no.
disrespectful.
And like, just because you may not want to be around like people that are partially naked or whatever, a lot of people are fine with it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's like,
Mm.
just leave it be. Nobody's saying you have to take your clothes off. Like, and like there's times when, in fact, most of the time, I keep my clothes on because I'm usually around a lot of cis people, and a
Um,
lot of them aren't just they're not ready for that.
well, I'm a
Um,
prude, so I don't take my clothes off. So you're
and there's
welcome.
that. Um, and this this can apply to both times when you are out with your kids and times when it's just adults. But be mindful of how long you stay at somebody's house. If you see that the party is starting to
Ooh.
wind down and folks are starting to leave, it's probably best if you start thinking about heading out to sometime in like the near future. Like if the hosts are literally like walking around the house turning off the lights and shit and you're still there, yeah,
If they're
you
going to
may.
bed, if they're going to
Right.
bed,
Like if you see me literally turning off the lights and putting my PJs on and you're still standing in my kitchen like drinking and eating and shit, it's like okay, you got to go. You got to go. I've literally seen this happen. Um but it's and it's look, I love people, and but sometimes like people just don't quite get the hint. It's like just it's
Dee
late.
says you often keep your
I
clothes
do.
on when it's just you.
I do. I very rarely get like in like right now, like in the hot tub. I very rarely get in the hot tub without my swim trunks.
Why? It's just you two.
I don't know.
Somebody looking over the wall. Um,
Do me.
well,
But
those days are
that's
gone for me. So
like
there's
that's a
no walking around like that.
like that's a big one. Like just be mindful of time,
Yeah.
especially if you happen to be someone that shows up late to something. So
Why are
if
you
you show
talking
up,
about me on air? Jesus.
so like say a party or something starts at like 6, if you don't get there until like 9,
So,
but everybody else is like gone at like 10 or 11, like everybody we've already been doing this for 6 hours. Like you gotta just because you get there late doesn't mean that you get to now stay 6 more hours. Like that's not so just
possibly, I'm trying to make up for lost time.
right. Like if you want to be there longer, then get there on time.
Oh. Mm.
But just be mindful of kind of pay attention to like context clues and things. And if you see that folks are starting to head out, and that
Mhm.
doesn't mean you have to leave as soon as the first person is like, okay, I gotta go, but just be mindful.
Also, I now understand reading Laura's comment made me think of this. I now understand why, like, adults would come over and then my parents would put us to bed. Like, especially if it was, like, 8 or 9
Right.
o'clock, they would be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
time for you to go to bed." It was so they could enjoy their friends without us in their
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
Uh
I usually just put myself to bed at that point. I'm like, because okay, so here's the thing. Growing up, if there were people, like if there were adults at the house,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they were my teachers.
Oh.
I don't know how many times I saw my teachers get wasted. Um,
Oh, wow. That's an interesting experience.
I one of these days I will have to talk about it just because it is an interesting experience and not a lot of people have
Because, like,
had.
as a child, you kind of idolize your teachers.
There's a very well it's like so when Dee is out and about and a kid sees her, that she works with, a kid sees her
Yeah.
like out in the wild, that's like a, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, you don't live here, you live at school. Like, did they let you
Mhm.
out? Like, what? So it's always a weird sort of disconnect when you see somebody out. But for me, not only did I see them like outside of school, just out and about, they were
But they
literally
were at
at
your
my
house.
house getting drunk as fuck. Like, this was a regular occurrence.
Oh,
And
no.
so I would take myself, I'd be like, okay, hi, I'm leaving now. And every so often I'd have to like sneak out of my bedroom and like go to the kitchen to get something to drink, or like load a plate up with food and then run back to my bedroom. But yeah, it was different. It was
Oh,
uh
that's
it was
interesting. We'll have to talk about that sometime. Maybe
it
on the
was a
Patreon.
very interesting experience for me. So I learned early on that
Adults in the house.
adults if there were adults in the house, I'd just disappear anyway. Because it was just easier than I'd have to, see my PE teacher the next day after she got wasted on my couch. It's like, oh
Dee says, "I was told that, I sleep there."
god. Right.
I feel like I don't teach, but I work in education, and when I see students, they're like and I'm like, "Hmm." And,
Yeah.
like, it becomes, like, this awkward encounter because then they're like, "Why are you shopping here?" And I'm like, "Just doing like humans do, I guess." And it's that awkward moment where they're like you could see their brain just, like they're
They're
outside of the
it's
brick
a
and mortar
weird
and, like,
like
they see
dichotomy.
you.
It's like, oh god, they're real people. It's like, yeah, Jesus.
Yep,
Um,
we are.
so just as an aside, Crimson is new here. So
Hi,
uh,
Crimson.
we decided over
12
what,
years
11,
ago.
12 years ago now, I think 12 years ago, that we didn't do enough drag for free, so we were going to do a podcast for free as well. Because we are nothing if not gluttons for punishment.
Um,
It's fine.
we enjoy this, I think. Mhm.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the
Um,
time.
yes, it is like seeing residents in the store, and I understand that feeling too. Uh, except for when you live on property. That is a different story. You see them all the time. But yes, um, being told to leave is not a good thing.
Yeah,
Um,
don't overstay your welcome. So.
yeah.
All right, shall we move on to like the super exciting stuff that's happening? I don't want to.
Okay, here we go. I will say, we're gonna talk about the news and what the
I'm just
fucking
gonna go
norm.
disassociate for the next 10, 20 minutes or so.
So I yesterday, we're gonna go through this really quickly because yesterday, as you look at all the news stations or all local or it, even international, this face is everywhere. I don't understand how this happens, but everywhere. That being said, on sometime last week or this weekend, I saw Elon Musk and the orange person in the Oval Office, and it looked like, you know how like a grandpa is sitting at his desk, maybe he's working on something, and then like the kid is standing over here. That's what that looked like. I'm not really gonna go into that. I'm not really gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about other things that are just as ridiculous, like um, Google has now followed suit with these executive orders, and the Gulf of America is showing up on US for US based users. So if you go to Google Maps and you're in the US, um, you will see the Gulf of America. I didn't believe it. When I tell you I didn't believe it, I had to like log out, log back in, look on my phone, go back.
Did you know that you can, if you go to like the location, you can write
Oh,
a review. If you go to the three dots, you can, it says submit feedback or something like that. And you can actually report it as incorrect information. We need people to do this. So if you go to Google Maps,
oh,
put the pin like in the middle of it so that it, you can, and then it should say like Gulf of America, then the three dots that are on the side over here. If you click those three dots, there's a drop down that'll pop down, and you can say submit feedback or send feedback or something like that. And then
mm,
there's more options. You can say like incorrect information, and then put it in there as this is incorrectly named. The
just
correct
a
name
moment.
is the Gulf of Mexico. And I, a lot of people are doing
Excuse me a
this, and I
moment.
think it's fantastic. Like,
Excuse
do
me a
the
moment.
thing. It's a small it's a small sort of resistance kind of thing. It's a small
Excuse me.
but fucking do it
Excuse me a moment.
because Google needs to know that they're being fucking stupid.
Okay, so I put the pen there. Oh, Gulf of America.
So
It
next to
says
the
it takes.
name,
Oh my god! It says that it'll take me 15 minutes to get there.
oh, that's spectacular.
Oh my gosh.
Google's lost its damn mind.
Okay, so oh, it takes you to the pen. Okay, you're gonna have to show me later
All right,
because
you
I
do the
can't.
thing. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can.
Yeah, because I can't get the three dots to show.
Okay.
Okay, so Google is standing by the executive order and says that it's a long-standing practice for them to apply name changes when they have been updated by government sources. Do we have to remember that this is like a convicted felon, 34, 34, um, and okay, I
It might
guess.
be
Are we
easier to
okay
do
with
it on
this?
your phone.
Okay, maybe I'll do it on my phone. But let's do what Freddie is talking about because I think that's a fantastic idea. Um, because this is weird. As long as have been living, I have not heard of any government official changing an international piece of water, the name. But I could be wrong. Somebody could send me something.
So I'm looking at it on my computer right now, right? And
Uh-huh.
you can leave. You're supposed to be able to leave reviews and things.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, it now says posting is currently turned off for this type of place. Some type of places are more likely to receive posts like reviews that violate Google's policies. To prevent this, Google has turned off posting. But I think if you go,
Oh,
you can't leave a review and be like, "This is wrong." Um,
so
but
people
I think
must have.
I think if you do it on your phone, I think you still be able to submit feedback. I'll look and see.
Mhm.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Speaking of interesting things, we know Kanye West. Um, do we? He had a commercial run during the Super Bowl, which led people to the website, his website. I'm not going to say the website name because they don't need that. But Shopify is the store front that hosts the store and shut down Kanye West's shop. You don't want to know the reason why? Because Kanye took it upon himself to sell shirts with the swastika symbol on it.
And that's all he was selling. That's it. That's the only thing you could find in that shirt was in that shop. It's a shirt with a swastika.
Puzzle me dumbfounded because whoa, huh? Okay, make it make sense. Somebody. No, no, not okay. And so, I saw before while I was getting ready that on TMZ they had posted that some people have been attacked by the deep fake, like AI videos, like Scarlett Johansson and some others, and very anti-Semitic messaging.
Mm,
God help us. And they turned right around some of these celebrities, and now they have um, a shirt that says like this, and it has the Star of David in the middle, and it says Kanye at the bottom. So fuck Kanye. And I have seen a lot of celebrities in their Instagram stories put fuck Kanye. So I wish those celebrities would have done the same thing, like fuck Donald Trump,
right.
and we wouldn't be here. But we move along. So I feel like I want to buy one of those shirts and support whatever is going on there. I haven't fully got into it because I need to, mull it over. But I was like, oh, and Steven Spielberg is also that. I think that's what made it stick out in my head. Steven Spielberg is wearing one of the shirts.
Hmm.
That says it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the madness continues, including in our Arizona state. So I think that we've done like a really good job of kind of if we hear something, then we kind of say something. I follow a lot of clinics, not for the purpose that I need them, but to support. Um, and I did see a lot of them going off about certain house bills, which made me because I always check the house bills because
Mm-hmm.
usually when something is going on like this weirdness that's going on like how it is now, um, you have to check the house bills. You have to check the house bills in your state, as well as like
Right.
up the ladder because that means they're up to something. So, um, we have the first bill, Arizona House Bill 2681, and you can look at these. Um, and I need to check them because they were supposed to vote on some of these this morning.
Mm.
Um, So let me first read HB 2681. It was introduced this legislative session and focuses on um, abortion induced drugs and stricter requirements, plainly. But the thing that is upsetting a lot of these clinics and the clinics that support people that are seeking abortions or otherwise or other treatments like Planned Parenthood or Desert Star, like we
Mhm.
have supported in the past. Um, these clinics are like there are some clinics that are in on this that are not clinics. I'll talk about
Right.
that next.
Right.
So the prescribing requirements will make it stricter with stricter rules on who can prescribe these prescriptions, what qualifications they need, and what certifications they must have. So if you've been certified as a doctor and doing this, then what I wish they had laws like this for fentanyl and for all these uh, other drugs that people get caught on because there are doctors that are abusing that power. Anyway,
Right.
um, it will mandate patients get counseling and specific information be provided to patients before they take the abortion inducing drugs. I don't really see a problem with that, but if it's supposed to be like we're getting somewhere before something else happens, this will prolong. Speaking of such, waiting periods. This will impose a waiting period between the initial consultation and the medication being dispensed, which could
Right,
lead
because if
to.
you put the waiting period on there, oh look, now you're past the time. Sorry, now you have to have the baby. Yeah.
Reporting requirements, which makes this a little touchy. I thought this was a little weird. It requires healthcare providers to report specific data related to the use of these medications, which is not uncommon, but I almost want to know like what specifically are they asking? You can't find this out in the bill because it's very vague. And I'm sure like once they get to building the policy and the laws that they'll so talk to your people. Tell them, "No, we don't want that," because then people. Yes. And then we have HB 216, which is the one that, oh, it looks like they voted on this. It looks like they voted yes on this. It
Of
passed.
course they did.
Um, this bill will add pregnancy, full on quotes, crisis centers, and it will allow them already to participate in already spread thin dollars of grant monies for abortion clinics and others. Some debate that these clinics or centers don't meet the criteria or don't even offer any services. And here's how. It would establish the Positive Alternatives for Pregnancy and Parenting grant program.
So
Anybody?
there are a few like quote unquote clinics that aren't clinics. They're literally like they kind of masquerade as like, oh no, we're totally like, Planned Parenthood, but they're actually not, and they're very dangerous
Hmm.
for pregnant people.
Um, this program aims to provide funding to nonprofit organizations that offer support services that Freddie was talking about. And within those, the bill proposes that state funds support organizations that offer alternatives to abortion. Services include counseling, adoption assistance, parenting resources, and material assistance, like providing clothes, food for your baby. But if you're looking for not the pregnancy, okay, just you know, I don't know. I think maybe I missed something. I don't know. Um, Here was a good one that caught my eye, and um I think that this is a good one. Um, HB 2358. This bill is aimed to change how the law handles where someone uses violence against someone or kills, murders, another person because of their sexual orientation or their gender identity. Many times we have heard of like people in like these circumstances and they go to like cuddle with somebody and then they kill them
Right.
because they found out that they were trans.
Oh my God, I
Or
was at the grocery store and this person looked at me and I thought they were, they found out they were gay and oh my God.
yeah, and you're like, what? Wait, what? And so at first when I read this, I couldn't understand it. Um, and I had to like go several different places. But this bill, if I read this correctly, wants to get rid of that defense, which is titled the gay or trans panic defense, which I hate. But finding out somebody is gay or transgender is never a good reason to use violence against them, as you should know. If you don't, get off of here. Just um, and in cases, people have used this defense legally in writing, in questioning.
Yes, no, it's been a legitimate defense and
Yes,
people have gotten off because of it.
yes. So this will make sure that it does not happen, especially in the state of Arizona. In short, the bill says it's never okay to use violence against someone because of who they are. And killing someone is basically just killing someone. You know,
I have a feeling that one's just gonna die on the House floor. It's not gonna go
let's see.
anywhere.
Did they vote on it today? There was a lot of bills that were. Oh, it did die.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it died last year. Hold on. I don't think they voted on it today. It's going for a second time, I think.
Uh,
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll die on the floor. But things not dying on the floor are things like DEI. Yes, they are. They're dying drastically. Because Freddie and I had a conversation about it before the show started. Um, so Scottsdale City Council has voted 5-2 to adopt an ordinance that discontinues funding to DEI. If you, I would love to know if you know the full coverage of DEI. And if you don't, I encourage you to go look and see. It's more than just being woke. It's more than just being a person of color. It's more than just
and just like these women are finding out that are getting fired, and all of a sudden they're like, "Wait a minute, why are you firing me? This was supposed to be about race."
yeah, it's more than that. So I encourage you all before you make any decision on where you stand that you need to look at the details.
Actually, here's the thing: if
Yeah.
anybody is against DEI, I want you to tell me, but I want you to not use the acronym. Tell me what
Oh,
exactly you are against. Is it the diversity, the equity, or the inclusion? So,
that's a
which of
very good one.
those is offensive? Don't use the acronym. Tell me out loud if you are bothered by the diversity, the equity, or the inclusion. That's what
Would
I
you
want
like
to
me
know.
to tell you what kind of conversations I've had?
No, I don't want to know.
In conversations, and not just at work either. In conversations, not in my household though. I just need to make that very clear because I think that people will make the assumption that that's happening here, and it's not. People are very offended by how diversity has become like a thing, not a thing. Um, that diversity somehow is banded to black and brown people, because of what happened with like George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, these are the same people that are kind of arguing that all lives matter,
Right.
but they're not realizing that there's protections for them that fall under this DEI,
Right.
and they've been happening for a while now, before it was called DEI.
Right.
So, like affirmative action, like women's rights, like assistance for disabled members of our community.
Like wheelchair ramps.
Yeah.
Like, when you like you have the automatic doors and you have the little button that you hit that opens it so you can get your, that's DEI.
So, like, when you say, "I don't want DEI and I want to dismantle it," that tells me that you are not inclusive, because inclusive means more than just supporting LGBTQ plus people,
Right.
because we use the language so much that people with not the right education or forthright have decided that this is about the gays,
Right.
that
It's
diversity is about the
having it's
black
having
people.
it's having TTY numbers for folks that are deaf or hard of hearing. It's braille. It's all
It's
of
the
that shit.
whole thing.
All
Oh,
of
it
that
breaks my
shit.
heart. Um, they want to just tear it all apart. Um, so
Yeah. It's
if
it's
you
a
work for
fucking
an
mess.
organization and you are battling it, more power to you. But there are a lot of organizations that just removed it. Target receiving backlash from stakeholders because they didn't realize that the almighty dollar had so much power and they were losing money. So if you see
Oops.
DEI coming back into play, and all
Mm,
of a sudden Target's
too
saying like,
late.
we love the black owned businesses. Oh no, we love Pride. Oh no, we
No, they
love
fucking they what was it, last year, the year before, when like all the conservatives were
last
like,
year
"Oh my
they
god,
took all this stuff down.
you have rainbow things," and they were just like, "Okay, well, we're never gonna have pride stuff in our stores again," and they stripped it all because of like a few bigoted assholes. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to
Yeah.
go to Target.
I've encouraged folks to go to Costco as long as
Hmm.
Costco supports. Because I mean, if we're thinking of value, you might as well just go to Costco. You probably get more for your buck, but
I mean, especially
um,
if you have like more people, if you like, if you get
go there
things
with
that
friends and
are
split
like,
it.
right, like get things that are like shelf stable, just go and get stuff and stock up on things, split the
The cost.
annual fee, like,
Hmm.
and just go
It
in
doesn't
go in on it
hurt.
with a friend, share that stuff,
Just like you
go
split
shopping.
Netflix with some people. Just
Right.
we
Except
might as well
Netflix doesn't
just
let you
jump on
do that
that.
anymore.
Oh, well, they don't allow you to do that anymore. That's right. But yeah, so also a lot of folks online saying like, we understand if you can't boycott, but here are some alternatives. I would like to offer that sometimes we go to like farmers market,
Mhm.
which is sometimes way better. Um,
It can also be more expensive, so there's that. That can be
yes,
a bitch.
depending, but I'd say like. And there's people, like, canceling Amazon subscriptions, just yeah, I haven't gotten there yet, and, it's okay if you take your time disbanding. That's all I'll say,
Right.
because that is like a shelter
And
shock.
sometimes it's not feasible to just get rid of everything, and
Because
we
then you're
get
just
that.
stuck trying to figure out, "How do I life now?"
Right.
Because
Because
these
then
things
there's some
are
things that are like that
integrated in
it's
our life
not
now.
practical. So, you gotta do what you can, There are some things are much easier than others,
So,
so.
on to some good news. I am not let me repeat, I am not going to fully talk about the Super Bowl and a performance. I feel like Monday and Tuesday were so exhausting, and I talked to other folks that felt the same way. let's talk about good things that happened at the Super Bowl. Um, Autumn Lockwood is the first Black woman to coach um, and to win a Super Bowl. So kudos on that. She is the associate performance coach, which is one of the head coach because she works with the players directly for the Philadelphia Eagles. Need that to be noted because I noticed some comments that was like, she's just like a little like water girl. No, she's not. She's not. First and foremost, why can't people just celebrate each other? I don't understand, but okay, whatever. Jalen Hurts becomes the fourth Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. That
That
I had
seems
to
like a
like.
very low number. Like what?
I looked it up.
So I'm thinking of like football teams and like really?
You can look it up if you want.
Damn. That seems
Do you know a handful?
I don't know shit about football. I didn't watch the game.
I know
But
Deion Sanders
I just
and Emmett
I I
Smith.
I feel like there are like that I feel like that's just that doesn't sound right. But okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm just that
I'll
sounds
look it up
very
and then put it on the screen for you.
uh,
I
that's fine. I believe you. That just that number seems very low.
if it's not right, I don't mind being corrected. Let me be fair and honest. I don't mind being corrected.
Just considering how many black players there are in the league, like I feel like
But we're
I don't know. Again, I don't know. I know nothing about the football. I don't play it. I don't watch it. I don't give a fuck about the football. So
Taj Williams was the first Black woman to design the Super Bowl logo because they change it every year.
okay.
Though not the first, there were beautiful renditions of the Black national anthem and the national anthem, which I know disturbs many people, but so sorry, don't care. Um, and also, can I tell you that I was living for all this color and then Donald Trump got booed?
And he got mad and left.
Yeah. And was he still in the building when Kendrick Lamar was performing or no?
He left right after.
Oh, so he must have known what the
He left right
performance was
after.
about. Okay.
Between like Samuel L. Jackson and like like he
Yeah.
knew exactly what was happening and he decided that he was going to go pout somewhere else. So he
Okay.
left. Yeah.
If you need an explanation of what happened on Sunday, I don't care if you thought it was boring. I don't care if you thought it wasn't for you. I don't care. Um, what are some other things? If you couldn't understand what he was saying,
I watched it
um,
after the fact because again, I didn't fucking watch it because I don't care. Cuz football. But I watched it after the fact and
mhm.
I'm watching it and I'm like, "You know what? Even with the sound off, I could watch this with no sound and I could still get the fucking imagery. It's not that fucking hard."
The part that I was like, I wish that they would have just panned to Donald Trump was he said, "You're at the right time, but you picked the wrong guy,"
Right.
and it got silent,
Yup.
and I was like, so Kendrick Lamar's performance was a protest on a national and international level. That is the simple and the most right there in your face thing that I can say to you. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you understood it. It doesn't matter if you were black or not, because I have seen many videos by white individuals that have explained the performance to a T. To a T.
Yep.
And this excuse that you don't listen to rap is not the excuse I want to hear. I applaud the people that approach this with a learning ear and wanted to know, okay, so where do I start if I wanted to listen to his music? Or where do I start if I want to find out more about the interpretation of the
I
art?
I love that like these people that are like that were complaining about it. I was like, so he has multiple Grammys and a fucking Pulitzer for his lyrics. What do you have? You ain't got shit. You don't have a fucking Pulitzer for your fucking lyrics. You don't
Ah,
even have a piece of your like poetry stuck on your fucking fridge. So back the fuck up.
yes.
Like,
Um, and ultimately, it was more than about Drake because I felt like people were saying that. Um, though the petty smile to the camera was the
so
icing on the cake.
what I liked, one of the things I like, he's sitting there and he's calling out predators in front of a fucking bunch of predators that are sitting in the fucking stands that are also
Uh-huh.
in DC. Like all these fucking predators were sitting there watching this, and he's calling out fucking predators,
Mhm.
which I'm sure that's why fucking Twitler was like, okay, I'm offended, I'm leaving now. He hurt my feelings.
Mhm.
He called me a name. I'm gonna go home. I don't want to play anymore.
This is my country. You can't insult me like that.
What?
God. Yeah. Don't bother me. I'm going back to the White House. I can't handle this anymore.
I'm gonna get
So,
my cookies and my milk, and I'm gonna go to bed early.
but that's not it. That's not all. Speaking of Twitler, a federal judge has ordered Twitler and his administration to restore LGBTQ plus health information that was removed from the CDC and FDA websites. And does that mean that he'll put the T back
That, and I think just like the all the healthcare information that was removed. What's bothering me so much about some of this shit
on
is
top
that
of
the fact
everything
that the
else?
CDC and the FDA just rolled the fuck over, and they were like, okay, we'll go ahead and remove all of this stuff, and we'll put like a blackout on our communications, and we won't tell anybody anything. We're just gonna be really quiet, and we're just not gonna say anything. Really?
Yeah.
You're the fucking CDC and the FDA, and you're gonna just let this happen?
Hmm.
What the fuck?
No advocacy at all.
Nothing. Like, no, you're like they're, and the thing is that they're as like organizations, they are bigger than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
if the FDA and the CDC were like, you know what? No, fuck you. We're not going to do that. What is Trump going to do? What are you going to do? The CDC says, you know
I
what?
feel
No,
like.
fuck off. No, we're going to keep doing our jobs here because this is our literal job. We are the
Hmm.
Center for Disease Control. I am not going to sit here and roll over and just be like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of these things, and okay, we can't let anybody know about any of the recalls or anything, so we're just going to delete, and we're just going to
Well.
delete this over here. It's a bunch of fucking horse shit. This, it, mm, mm,
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't even. I don't even. I can't. I
Yes. So
can't.
just a lot of craziness, but I felt like we broke up the Trump brigade, so to speak, this week because I found some other things that we should know.
Right.
Um, and if you know of any House bills that are being, uh, I I I don't know why I enjoy this, but I enjoy looking up the House bills and seeing who's voting on them. Do y'all ever look to see who's voting on your stuff? It's a scary thing. If you voted for somebody and they're voting against you, midterms are coming. Um,
Yep.
but, uh, but yeah, so keep an eye on this stuff. I know that it's uh, and as I get older, I used to be the young person that was like, I don't need to worry about this stuff right now. But slowly but surely, like it kept affecting me, and I kept thinking like, how do you all know this? How do you know that they're voting against you? And you can see people's names.
Oh yeah. Nope. For sure. That's all. It's on record.
You can see
It's
the
all record.
sponsors. You can
Yep.
see you can you can literally see like company names
Hmm?
sometimes. That's why
Yup.
people get all upset, like, when they're like, "Chick-fil-A supported this anti-LGBTQ bill." It's because you can see the name, sometimes you can see the company.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
speaking of
Um.
things coming up, we have gigs, gigs,
Um.
gigs.
We have a few. We do have a few gigs. So this Sunday is Pride Day at the Renaissance Festival here in Arizona. There's gonna be like a Pride costume contest and some fun stuff, and a bunch of your local drag artists are gonna be there in attendance um, as like
Not
part
me.
of the Ren Fair. So that'll be fun. I'll be there with a few other people. So yeah,
I
come
hope
out
it
for
doesn't
Pride
rain.
Day. I don't give a fuck. I love it when it rains at the Ren Fair.
Oh, do you?
Yes, because everybody fucking leaves.
Oh.
Everybody leaves and I get to play in the mud. I'm here for it. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Uh, so I guess the Sunday after that, I'll be at Stacy's for Magic, the return of Magic, just in time for Black History Month. Anyway, so yes, that's gonna be Sunday the 23rd at 8 p.m. It's no cover, but if you want preferred seating, the link is on my Facebook. I don't think I posted it anywhere else. It's also on my website, FeliciaMiner.com. Um, and then on the 27th, I have drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room, and that starts at 5:30. And then on the 28th, look, I'm gonna preface this. If you're listening, if you're watching this later,
We're already sold out.
if you have messaged me in the last 2 days and I have told you no, I feel like that no is like I told you so.
Right.
We always get asked, are there tickets available for this? And this went really quick.
Yeah.
Like,
We always tell you as soon as we like get these things like on the calendar, we're like, look, as soon as the tickets go up, buy your fucking tickets because it
gone.
will sell out. It
So
will sell out.
we'll have to let you know what the next one is because we have no more space. We
No,
we sold out.
it done sold out. So if you didn't get your tickets, tough shit. Try again next time.
Future thinking. Next one's yours.
Oh right. We're already rolling into March. In March, myself
Did you
and
not realize
some
that March
I
was
don't know what the hell we're
coming?
doing. Um, I will be at the Wow Wow West Con, which is a steampunk convention in Tucson. I am producing Tricks and Treats, a drag and burlesque show that's happening on March 21st. And fun
A
fact,
Friday.
you don't actually have to get tickets for the con to go to the show. You can just get tickets for the
Oh.
show if you wanted to do that. And it's going to be fantastic. We've got drag, we've got burlesque, and it's all like steampunk Halloween themed. So that's going to be fun.
I think I'm off
I am
that
super
day.
excited. It's my third year in a row producing it, and it gets better and better. It sells out every year, and this is
Another
going to
thing
be
you should
great.
get your tickets for because it's gonna sell out.
True story. It is going to sell out. So that'll be fun. And then heading into April, look, we're telling you guys these things ahead of time so you can put it in your fucking calendar. April 12th, we're doing drag bingo at Shea Cheese. That's a cheese lounge up on 32nd Street in Shea. True story thing. But that'll be fun. That'll also be another fundraiser for God, I can't remember what the rescue is. I'm terrible, but it's a thing. So as soon as we have links
We'll
to the
have
tickets, we'll
details
make sure
later.
that that gets out there as well. Um,
And
and
then
then yeah,
we've
and then
been
April
asked about
17th.
this one
Guess
a
what?
lot too. I've been asked about this one. Sex Trivia returns April 17th. I didn't know that people were like planning that far ahead, but if you
You know
are,
what? Put it on your calendar.
put it on your calendar because we always get asked how often do you do this? When are you doing it next? And so April 17th, we will be at Gracie's Text Bar for another round of sex trivia.
Yes.
Indeed.
And we
Indeed.
have gone so over this week.
This is a 2-hour episode. You're welcome.
Sorry, my bad.
We had a lot of things to talk
We'll make
about.
sure the after show chat is a little bit shorter for those on Patreon, so you don't have to listen to us for that long.
I mean, they pay for it, so.
Man, that's true. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, shut up already.
And Laura is one of them. So, and she was here the whole time. So,
True story. True story.
anyway. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in for tonight's conversation. Thanks to all of you who watch live and those who are new and returning. Hello,
Yeah.
Marissa and Crimson. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you are listening on the replay, if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast player, please leave a review. Only good reviews, though.
Yes,
I just need
please
to.
don't leave crappy reviews.
I don't want to have
Leave
to
good
like.
reviews.
I don't want that though. Can we get like a good review, like a solid like 5
We
star?
are informational. We are also cute.
Something's going on here. The hair is cute. That yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening to our podcast. Thanks for tuning in live, and we will see you next week for your Wednesday night conversation.
Good
Good night.
night.